Hey everyone, welcome to episode 9 of the BowhuntingAZ podcast. Today I sit down with my friend Richy Sanderson of BCC Archery Pro Shop and talk bow maintenance. We spent the weekend out at a 3D shoot by Draw Bowhunters. The shoot took place at Mormon Lake just outside of Flagstaff, Arizona. During our time there, it rained back and forth from a steady sprinkle to a temporary downpour. I absolutely loved shooting in the rain, and if given the chance, I would recommend that everyone should experience it at least once. The more prepared you are in practice, the more prepared you'll be on a hunt, should something like this occur. We also touched lightly on the new 2018 PSE Evolve 28 and how amazing this bow is. Now let's jump into our episode.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the BowhuntingAZ podcast. We're back out here today at BCC Archery Pro Shop with Richy Sanderson. We just shot a 3D competition this weekend. We just did it for fun, but we went up to Mormon Lake with Draw Bowhunters and constant drizzle all day pretty much, and almost a downpour at some points, especially course 1 and 2. It rained a bit heavier. One thing I gotta say, it's cool. You know those movies where it's like the boxers go in slow motion and they hit someone and you see all the sweat go off? It was fun shooting in the rain and seeing the bows do that, because you're sitting there and you're getting your target position and everything, and then boom, you release. And I watched you using your bow, and it was like water just goes and just shoots everywhere. It looks cool.
Yeah,
it was a neat experience. I had never shot in the rain like that. I think back when I started, the bows were a bit older back then and stuff, and it was always, don't ever get your string wet.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not such a big deal now, really.
It's not, but it is. I mean,
it is.
It does. In the rain, your bow acts different.
Yeah.
I mean, some people tell you no, it don't. You know,
I noticed a difference.
I personally know it does do a difference. You know.
Yeah.
The cold weather. I mean, your bow's used to one certain weather. You go to colder weather, it makes your bow string a little. When it's colder, it makes it a little bit more stiffer, so it shoots a little bit faster, and you can feel it. I mean, I have anyway.
Okay.
But
yep. Let's talk about maintenance. So this is my bow here, the 2018 PSE Drive X. So we went out and we shot. Definitely, everything was definitely soaked. So what kind of things are we looking to do to our bows? Even if it's just like a light humidity or a small sprinkle, what kind of things do we need to do to take care of our bow? You know, just like cleaning a gun, what do we need to do to take care of this?
They are, you know, and it's just a matter of keeping them from getting rusted, you know.
Yep.
A lot of times I like to, depending on how bad, I mean, the rain wasn't that bad, but, you know, it was. I think we kind of dried them off a little bit when we got done with them and whatnot. So I don't think it's all that bad. A lot of times I like to put them in a press, take them down, tear them down, you know, I like to use lithium grease on my axles and stuff, and get them all greased up a little bit more. But they've come out with these new bows with the new bearings and stuff in them, and they say you can just use these pin oil stuff that I use.
Okay.
There's 2 different types. I mean, this is in a spray can and this is in a pin. I use this on like the open threads like here. I'll use that instead of this. But you know, break it down. You can break it down, tear it apart, redo it. You know, like when we got done there, you know, we dried it off a little bit. We put some of this stuff on it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not going to hurt to do it again. You know, you just put it in your. You clean your string really good. We'll go over that a little bit.
Okay.
And you know, these got these bearings in them and these axles, and this oil really soaks in. I put it on the top of the axles and on the bearings, on both sides, on everything, all your moving parts, you know.
Yep.
Some people say you don't need to do all your moving parts, but I just do. And then I let it set in. In it all the way. On your top cam or on your bottom cam on these PSEs, it's wide open, and some of the other bows, a lot of the the limb bolt or the cam bolts and stuff on them are open, and you just put it in there.
And I'll get a picture for the audio listeners. I'll get a picture of this tube of oil. It's got almost a like a hypodermic needle tip on it. Not really. It's not that sharp, but that's what it's like, kind of. You can imagine
close,
it.
yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Oh, yep. And so Richy's able to get in there with that oil in these small places and kind of make sure that, you know, the maintenance is getting where it needs to go.
And that's why I like using this type of a this pin oil that I use. I like this tip and stuff. It just seems to be better.
So you're even getting in the rest now.
Yeah, I'm getting in the rest, and just
I've got a drop away rest for those listening, and so you want to make sure you get into those bearings probably in there, the spring and stuff that's able to drop away for that.
And then you just let it soak in there a little bit. I like to hold the bow and grab a hold of it.
Okay.
Pull it back and forth. And it helps move all the oil and stuff. And then when you're done, you know, because we weren't in the dust and stuff, I didn't do it. But a lot of times when we're in the dust, let's say we're out there and it's dry and it's dusty, after you get back, I like to take ear picks or Q-tips, I should say, and alcohol. I use like 90 to 100 proof alcohol.
Okay.
And I just put it on there, and I go through and just clean everything before I even put that oil on it. You want to get all them little dirt particles and stuff off of it. And even after you do your oil and stuff, you can take it. I don't take the per se the alcohol after I oil it, but
right. So alcohol
I just take a dry Q-tip and take the excess after letting it set for 24 hours or something. You know, I just take a dry Q-tip and
clean up
go over it. And I mean, even though we cleaned it a little bit before, it's still getting, you know, look at the dirt and stuff on it. I mean, all that stuff does damage to your bow, your limbs, and just everything, you know. So you want to keep it clean, you know. And I like to take like this stuff. Like I was saying, I use this stuff for my limb bolts. If you can get to them and stuff, it just keep everything from keeping rusting and and whatnot, you know.
So just kind of let it soak in there for a second, and then use Q-tips or a paper towel or something to clean up any residual that's, you know.
That's what I like to do.
Okay.
I mean, and you can do it to every little moving part, you know, just depending. Well, you're gonna, like for me, you know, on your, like we got these micro-adjusted sight pins and stuff, and they've got little threads and stuff in them, you know.
Right.
It don't hurt to run a little oil up and down the threads and in all them moving parts too, you know. And I'll leave it for you to clean up afterwards, but I just let it soak for overnight or something, you know, and then just clean it so the dust don't get in there and collect in there and cause it to do any harm or damage, or, you know.
Do you recommend using any of that canned air spray before you do the alcohol?
You can use that. I never thought of that. Now that you brought it up, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure you could use that, you know, in there.
So spray out
and then
some of those joints first.
Yeah.
Maybe follow up with alcohol.
I never thought of that. You know, that'd probably be a good idea. That can aerosol spray, you know, air. Clean all that dirt off. You know, you want to get it all off, and then, you know, after you do that, take the.
There's the pen right there. Do you sell that here at the shop?
I sell it here at the shop.
Okay.
It's made by Snot, is what it's made by.
Okay.
I don't know. It's what it costs, but
okay.
I don't sell them outright. I guess I could. I just charge my charging of what I do to do a bow if somebody brings it in and wants me to do it for them.
Yep.
You know. And everybody has a different price. I mean,
come visit and have Richy service your bow for you.
But that's all I do. I mean, if it really comes down to it, you know, and I really think it needs to be done, I'll break it down. I know a lot of the pro shooters and stuff, I'm sure they'll go home, and I guarantee you they probably tear their bow completely down. And they might even put new strings on after a situation like that. I don't know. Really? I know some people do. Then when you're done like that too, you're gonna want to put, you're gonna want to grease or wax your strings really good.
Okay.
There's the stuff I use is scorpion venom string wax, and I just love it. It comes with a piece of leather in the can, but I don't, and to rub it in, I don't personally like the leather, because I like to be able to put the wax on there, and I like to really rub it in and feel that it's heating up and getting into the string. When my hand really gets to stinging hot, I know it's got rubbed into that string,
Yeah.
Each to your own. It's what you want to do. There's special stuff you can take and clean the string with too. Whatever anybody wants to do, that's somebody wants you to want their string cleaned and real good, and then wax.
For waxing your string, you literally wax every single open part of the string that you can.
Every open part of the string you can.
Okay.
You can do. I even do the wrapping up on top here a little bit, and try to get it. It'll warm it up, and hopefully it'll soak into it, But it's just a matter of just getting it done, after this rain like that. We're putting it on. I probably would, like tomorrow or the next day, I'd probably rub more on,
Yep.
Because that water just, even though it didn't, it rained. It didn't really rain, but it got.
Towards the end, it was like a 30-second spurt that was really coming down, but I don't think it was enough to saturate everything fully.
Yeah, it's just hard to say. Everybody has their own opinion on it. I didn't think it was all that bad to make it, But yeah, it does stuff. But like I say, wax them really good, and then tomorrow or whatever, I'd wax them again. Just because that it kind of got wet and got what it went through. It ain't going to hurt it to. You can wax every day. I tell people, like, every third time you shoot it, to wax your strings. It don't hurt it to wax it every day a little bit. Everybody's each to their own. I don't know.
And that's great to have some sort of guideline to go by. So if you guys want to, stick to that every third shoot with your bow, you want to throw a little wax on there, and that's something you can do. Or
the more you wax it, the better it's going to be, the better it's going to stay. As much as I shoot, I wax mine a lot, but as much as I shoot, I have to change my string every 6 months. People say you don't have to do it, but once a year, depending on how much you shoot it. But it's just one of them things. Like I say, I shoot a ton, so about every 6 months. But I'm going to tell you, at the moment, the new live wire strings from PSE are lasting really well.
Okay.
All the PSE bows that I got live wire strings on everything right now. Shooting them, man, they just seem to really be holding up well.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, and a couple of the other bows that we have them on, everybody's saying, wow, they seem to be really holding up to their potential.
Yep.
The moment I'm playing with it, I'm going to see how long I can go with without having to. I mean, once I got it set and everything, there's been no peep rotation or anything like that. So I've been shooting it. That's where I start to notice. I notice what stray arrows, or my peep starts turning more and more and more and more. I know my string's wearing out.
Okay.
All that kind of stuff hasn't happened yet. Anything that has happened has been operator error.
Okay.
But like I say, the new live wire strings that PSE's come out with right now are lasting quite a while. You know, but you never know. You know, somebody that shoots a lot, you may have to change them every 6 months. But
Okay.
I'm going to play with it and see. I mean, these strings have been on here almost 6 months now.
Yep.
And they're still, to me, look phenomenal, I think you got it in December, right?
Maybe November.
November.
But yeah, November, December.
December.
Right before deer season, because I had it with me for deer.
So, I mean, that's...
it's pretty good.
Been on there quite a while, and I think they're holding up well.
Okay.
But like I say, I really oiled it. I'd, let it kind of sit there and clean it.
Yep. And what are some things that people should not do? So we talked about kind of points that you want to hit for your maintenance. If somebody's really not knowledgeable and maybe they think they're doing something good, maybe they're cranking on one of these or something, what parts do you want to stay away from on the bow? Everybody's trying to do their own thing and save money, and I understand that. Yeah.
Limb bolts and stuff like that you want to be careful with when you're turning them. One thing I do, I guess I didn't do it to this bow. One thing I like to do is I like to mark my limb bolts.
Okay.
And
Check
a lot of other
rotation.
people go to a different shop after they had me do something or something. They always say, I can guarantee I know where that bow come from because I think I'm the only one that marks them.
Really?
But
wow.
But I like to mark them. That way when you're turning them a full rotation every time or a half rotation.
Yeah.
You just know where your mark is on it. If you get one limb bolt out of whack on a good bow, you can cause the limb that's got more pressure on one than the other to crack, and you don't want that, and that's why I do that. And just to help other people if they decide they want to try to do their own stuff, they know to pay attention to that. A lot of times I get people that do their own thing and then they come in and it's not shooting right. One limb's out 2 turns more than the other, and I ask them, and I messed with it, but they never paid attention. And I got a mic. I mic them and check them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you need to keep everything, it's just, if you're not sure on a bow, don't do it. Don't touch it, because a lot of times, even though they say they're lifetime warranted, you start messing with something. I've had issues with other bows where somebody's messed with it and then they've got a cracked limb on it and they brought it to me and they admitted to me that they were doing something they weren't supposed to be, they didn't know nothing about.
Yeah.
I have to relay that message to that company. I don't lie. I mean, I'm a Christian man and I'm not going to lie to nobody about it. I mean, the Lord, this whole shop's been because of the Lord, and the Lord allows me not to lie, and I just don't do it,
Yeah.
So if somebody reveals that information to me, or they tell me to send it back to them, and they look at it and say, well, somebody's tampered with it, they know themselves, too.
Yeah.
They're not stupid.
Yeah.
A lot of times they'll void their warranty, and I know some bow manufacturers are saying if you mess with your bow without going to a pro shop, that validates the warranty on it, so they're trying to get away from not having that. I mean, they have a lifetime warranty for a reason on it. They want you to take it to a pro shop, get it taken care of there, so it's all done right.
Yeah. Well, especially when you're dealing with something that's high tension like this.
Yeah.
Like, you really don't want to be screwing around.
You don't. I mean, people don't realize. Let me find.
Yeah, you guys don't want to screw around with, any of the limbs or limb bolts, anything like that. If you want to tighten some of these little Allen wrenches down here, it's recommended to have a good set of Allen wrenches. One of those pocket knife looking Allen wrench, kits would be perfect to have, and just make sure things are tight around in these areas, on your rest, on your sights. That's all fine, but leave this stuff up to the professionals.
If you look at this bow and look at the way the limb is on it, it's got a lot of pressure on it. It's people don't realize, they think that's made that way. It's actually not. There's a set of limbs.
Jeez.
They're straight. So you think, here, I'm trying to put pressure on it, you can't do nothing. So can you imagine what,
right?
Just imagine what that is like,
Yeah.
And you get to messing with something and break one and it blow up in your face.
Oh, man.
Nobody's ever seen anything like that. It's just, I'm not trying to say, you do what you want, but, you got to be careful on the whole thing, That's straight. That come off of a bow that has a lot more. These limbs come off of a Decree HD TI, which has a lot more of a reflection to them, So,
yeah, and for those listening, he's got a set of 4 limbs here, and he's holding up my bow with the normal curvature of a bow that you're used to seeing, and these 4 limbs are literally just dead straight. And so that's how much torque is behind these things, that just something you don't want to mess with. Make sure to take the higher the higher maintenance, the higher level maintenance to a pro, have him take care of it. Come and see Richy, he'll take care of you. And the other stuff you can do at home or whatever, and just do some general maintenance. But anything else, Richy, that you can think of?
Not that I can think of. There's always stuff I don't, after we get off camera, I think, I should have said this, I should have said that. But, I hope that was some good knowledge for somebody that really don't know what to do, for just general maintenance,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's hard for anybody to do what I did,
Yeah.
I'm sure this is kind of like 3-in-1 oil or something.
Okay.
I don't know. To me, it looks a lot thinner than 3-in-1 oil.
It looks pretty fine, and it looks even finer than I think I like Singer sewing oil. That looks even finer than that. So.
But it does phenomenal. This is all I ever use, and I ain't had a problem with anything that I've done with it yet.
Yep.
And
what about arrows? That's something that's not talked about a whole lot. What is one thing somebody could do if maybe like this weekend, maybe say we shot one off into the woods or something, missed a target? What are things you want to do to look over an arrow in general and make sure that it's okay to you don't have something blowing up in your hand?
Well, you visually want to just visually look at it, and I don't recommend to do it, but I run my hands up and down them, and you're going to find, and be careful when you're doing that, but you'll feel stuff. I just have a feel for a lot of it because I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
A lot of times I can run my hand up the shaft and feel a nick or feel something out of sort, and then you really want to expect it. Another thing is you don't want to put a lot of pressure on it, but you put quite a bit of pressure on it, these things are not going to break. If you put that much pressure what I am and it's got a bad spot on it, you're going to hear it and it's going to break. It's going to snap.
You had told me that once you'd hear a crackle or something kind of funny sounding, and
it's kind of crazy.
And it's always better to err on the side of caution too, guys. If you launched one into the woods or something and you're worried that something might just not quite be right with the arrow, just err on the side of caution, because Richy's got a picture on the wall over here of an arrow through somebody's hand and wrist, so it's not something that you want to have happen. These things will pretty much explode in your hand if you launch one that's cracked already and has been damaged and you don't know it and you think it's fine, and next thing you know,
it's probably pretty hard to see, but you can see.
Yep.
This one's been abused, hit rock or something, and there's fine little fibers and stuff on it. But this is going to sound a little bit different. I'm going to break it. This is just an extra arrow.
Yep.
But if it was to where it was going,
let me put my, there you go.
Where it was going,
putting my mic up there.
where it was going to break, or if it had a bad spot and it broke. I mean, I hardly touched that one and it broke, there. So this might have had a bad spot right there. And then you can see the fibers and stuff in it,
Yep.
I don't know if that big camera.
Yeah, it'll pick it up.
But I mean, when you're checking them, and now this one's going to sound a little bit. See, I'm putting a lot of pressure on it.
Yeah, so it must have had a weak point there.
And this one when I just
that was nothing.
Just snapped, real easy.
Huh.
I mean, this one's takes a lot to break. I mean, it takes a lot. That's like I tell people, I love carbon over aluminum. Because aluminum, if you hit something, it's going to bend and it's all over. Carbon, if it don't break or don't do nothing, and you can flex it like that, I mean, it's good. Pick it up and shoot it again.
Okay.
I mean, but so.
And knocks, as long as the end of the shaft's not cracked or anything, if you've got a knock fall out, I've had it happen before. You're okay to stick it back in there. If you really want, you can super glue it.
I mean, if it really keeps falling out and stuff,
something might be wrong.
Something's wrong. It's probably got a crack in it. Maybe it's got a hairline crack you can't see, but it's really loose. You can get a new one and put in it, and it still does the same thing. I'm gonna say it's got a crack or something in it,
Okay.
And then you're gonna have to throw it away or cut it down or whatever. A lot of times us guys, we cut our arrows as short as possible, so once they're broke, they're broke.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're long enough for a kid, That's like I tell people, if you break one that's too short for you, don't throw it away, bring it to me. I use it for our archery club. I'll cut it off, check it out, take it over, and you put it in the archery club stuff, and let the kids, get 3 of them the same thing, and let the kids shoot them. It saves me money having to buy arrows for the club.
Sure.
But
it's a great way to give back too. So awesome.
But and them are some of the things we do. Everybody has their own. I'm not going to say I'm a pro at any of this, but everybody has their own way of checking them, and some people say, "Oh, that's not right," but everybody has their own thing. I mean, it works for me, and I haven't had, knock on wood, anything happen,
Yeah. Now, what about D-loops as well?
D-loops, you can tell when they start getting a little tethered here. There might be it's got a covering on it, and then it's got a white little strings in the inside. Once you start seeing them strings on the inside,
time to replace
it.
Okay.
Sometimes you can just feel a spot or something like that. Before long, this string loop might be one that we'll have to replace eventually.
Okay.
I'm starting to feel a little bit of difference, but it's not bad. But I use a little. This is something that came with the bow when we got it.
Yeah.
I just put it on it.
Yep.
But I use a little bit thicker D-loop material normally, and I probably should have put it on it instead of putting that one on. But
how often should you absolutely 100% take your bow in? No questions asked. Like at least once a year, maybe in the off seasons, or
everybody does. I would say once a year you ought to take your bow in and have it checked, have it gone thoroughly through.
Yep.
It's like I tell all of my permanent customers that come in here all the time. I think it's $35. If you're a permanent customer and buy from me all the time, and I maintain your bow and stuff, I think it's $35, and I might have went up to $40. I don't know.
Okay.
But dollars for the year, all year long, I'll take care of your bow. You bring it in, I'll wax it. I make you do the waxing, and unless you bring it in to me, and then I'll do it. But I'll break it down, oil it, and check it out, and make sure there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
And that's all year long. If you want a new rest on it or something, with that price, if you buy from, like I say, you buy from me all year long, with that price, you want a new rest on it, as long as you buy it from me, I'll put it on. No extra cost.
Yep.
And that's just something I do for my customers that are loyal to me.
Yeah.
A lot of shops charge other prices, more prices, and that's every time you come in, no matter what, you know, even if you're a loyal customer. Or that's what I've been told anyway. But that's what I do, you know. Hopefully, you know, I just try to do things fair.
Yeah, I think you've done a pretty darn good job at that. So, absolutely. And Richy's really got the heart of a teacher too. So if you have any questions, he's not just going to say yes or no. He's going to expound on that answer a little bit and then run you through the ropes of whatever it is that you asked, and just kind of let you absorb however much knowledge you want. So definitely come to him for your bow maintenance. Make sure that you're not trying to do some of these bigger things by yourself. If you need wax or any of that stuff, you can come get it from him here at the shop. And of course, we'll always attach his phone number and all his information in the show notes. Any last thoughts? Anything you want to add?
No, I think that's about everything. You know, like I said, you know, I always think of something after we go off the air, but you know,
well, we can always save it for another episode. So cool. Well, thanks again, Richy. Appreciate you.
Thank you
giving me your time today, and got to shoot a little bit outside. It was great. It wasn't too hot.
No, it's not bad out there at all.
It's supposed to be like 112 by the midweek, I think.
That's gonna kill me.
I know. Can you believe we were in 54 degrees 2 days ago?
This weekend, and come to this. That's what I said today. You know,
shock to the body.
Go to Phoenix and it was 105 or something. Whenever I was down there. And,
at least we got rain though. That was one good thing. I was happy to see.
Nice little drizzle. I wish we had more. It wasn't enough to do what needed to be done. But
I think that was a good way to kick it off, at least monsoon season,
hopefully,
if you want to call it that.
Kick off the monsoons, and we'll start getting more rain. That's all.
The animals need it.
As long as we don't get no more lightning, that'll be the best thing. But that ain't gonna happen, I'm sure.
I feel bad for the animals.
But you never know. You know, the Lord might provide more rain like we got the other day. We didn't get no lightning with it.
No.
I mean, I guess on Wednesday they got lightning storm through there, but you know, they've got some fires going. But then the rest of the time, you never got no lightning. You just got a little sprinkle here, a little sprinkle there.
Cool. Well, hey, thank you so much, guys, for watching the BowhuntingAZ podcast. Make sure you subscribe, leave a 5-star review. It'll really help us out. Give Richy a call if you need anything. If you want to try out that new Evolve 28, that thing is a dream boat.
It's a dream.
I don't know how else to put it. It is so snappy. It is a
dead in your hand.
Yeah.
I mean, accurate. I mean, I don't know. We just had a couple of guys come over and shoot it today. Just because we told them how nice it was. Now they're wanting one, you know. Like, give me the money.
Well, and that guy too, Mike, he was a left-handed shooter shooting a right-hand bow, and his placement was like almost 3
arrows on top of each other. I mean, so close that it was.
And that's not even sighted in for him.
No,
that's for you because you set it up. So, good grief.
Yeah, it was like he said. That's a nice bow. I can do something like that with the wrong-handed bow. It has a lot to say.
Absolutely. Well, cool. Thanks again, guys, for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks again for joining us today. I hope you're able to walk away with some great knowledge about bow maintenance. If you need any of the items that Richy talked about, feel free to visit his shop or call him at 623-696-6310. Make sure to follow BowhuntingAZ on Instagram and Facebook, and please make sure to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. In the meantime, God bless, and we'll see you in the next episode.